Good morning, students of class 9. Previous day we had started the third chapter of your book Moment, Isuran the Storyteller. Now I am going to complete the rest of the text. Let us see what is written in the text. The place I come from is famous for timber. Isuran would begin. There is a richly wooded forest all around. The logs are hauled on to the lorries by elephants. They are huge, well-fed beasts. When they turn wild, even the most experienced Mahabhat is not able to control them. After this prologue, Isuran would launch into an elaborate anecdotes involving an elephant. Isuran used to say that the place where I came from, that place was very famous for timber, and the logs were hauled on to the lorries by the elephant. Elephants are well fed beasts, but when they turn wild, even the most experienced Mahabhat are not able to control them. After that, he would start telling a story related to elephant. One day, a tusker escaped from a timber yard and began to roam about, stamping on bushes, tearing up wild creepers, and breaking branches at will. You know, sir, how an elephant behaves when it goes mad. Isuran would get so caught up in the excitement of his own story that he would get up from the floor and jump about, stamping his feet in emulation of a mad elephant. That was his attitude. Emulation means imitation, mimic, copy. Whenever he used to start a story related to anything, as he had said something about an elephant, that's why he started a story. That once it so happened that a tusker escaped from a timber yard and started roaming, stumping bushes, tearing wild creepers, breaking branches at its will. And after that he asked if he knew how an elephant behaves when it goes mad. And he was so excited by his own imagination that he would jump about and started stamping his feet in copying in the excitement, just like the mad elephant. The elephant, he would say, the elephant reached the outer skirt of our town, breaking the fences down like matchsticks. He would continue. It came into the main road and smashed all the stalls selling fruits, mud pots, and clothes. People ran helter-skelter in panic. The elephant now entered a school ground where children were playing, breaking through the brick wall. All the boys ran into the classroom and shut the door tight. The beast grunted and wandered about, pulling out the football goalpost, tearing down the volleyball net, kicking and flattering the drum kept for water, and uprooting the shrubs. Meanwhile, all the teachers had climbed up to the terrace of the school building. From there, they helplessly watched the depredation of the elephant. There was not a soul below on the ground. The streets were empty, as if the inhabitants of the entire town had suddenly disappeared. Helter-skelter means disorderly haste and confusion, depredation, damage, menacingly threatening. Isuran described about that elephant that when the elephant reached on the outer skirt of his town, it started breaking the fence just like matchstick. It also damaged all the stalls who were selling fruits and pots and clothes. That's why people ran helter-skelter in panic. In such a way, that elephant entered into a school ground where children were playing, and through the brick wall. When the children saw the elephant, they ran into the classroom and shut their door tightly. The beast grunted, wandered about. He pulled the football goalpost, tore down the volleyball net, kicking and The drum kept forward turned and uprooted the shrubs. Meanwhile, all the teachers went on the school building terrace, and from there they were watching all the dramas helplessly. Not even a single soul was present in the ground. I was studying in the junior class at that time. Student said that at that time he was studying in the junior class and was watching the whole drama from the rooftop. I don't know what came over me suddenly. I grabbed a cane from the hand of one of the teachers and ran down the stairs and into the open. The elephant grunted and menacing swung a branch of a tree which it held in its trunk. It stamped its feet, kicking up a lot of mud and dust. It looked frightening, but I moved slowly towards it, stick in hand. People were watching the scene, hypnotized from nearby housetops. The elephant looked at me red-eyed, ready to rush towards me. It lifted its trunk and trumpeted loudly. At that moment, I moved forward and, mustering all my force, whacked its third toenail on the quick. The beast looked stunned for a moment, then it shivered from head to foot and collapsed. In such way, a student described his story that when that elephant entered into the school ground, when all the teachers and students went away, a student grabbed a cane from one of the teacher's hand and went into the open. When elephant saw him, it stamped its feet and kicked up a lot of mud, but it was looking frightening. A student moved slowly towards the elephant. All the people were watching this drama from their rooftops. When the elephant looked towards him red-eyed and was ready to rush towards him, when it lifted its trunk and trumpeted loudly, at that moment, a student collected all his force and attacked, whacked, but struck forcefully on its toenail on the quick. After that, the beast looked stunned for a moment, and it started shivering from head to foot and collapsed. The student described this story. At that point, the student would leave the story unfinished because he was not able to complete the story. That's why he left the story unfinished and get up mumbling. I will be back after lighting the gas and warming up the dinner. Mahendra, who had been listening with rapt attention, would be left hanging because student had not given the ending of the story. He stopped the story in the middle. When he returned, student would not pick up the thread of the story right away. When he would return, it became impossible for student to complete the story and where to start, how to finish. So it is called he would not able to pick the thread of the story right away. Mahendra would have to remind him that the conclusion was pending. That's why he said, well, a veterinary doctor came. He was summoned to revive the animal. A student would shrug casually. 2 days later, it was led away by its Mahabhat to the jungle. In such way, he used to complete his story. He used to finish his story. Well, how did you manage to do it, Isuran? Mahendra asked him. As it was not a plausible, digestible story. That's why when Mahendra asked him, how did you manage to do it, Isuran? How did you bring down the beast? Isuran would reply, it has something to do with a Japanese art, I think, sir, karate or jiu-jitsu it is called. I had read about it somewhere. It temporarily paralyzes the nervous system, you see. In such way, he wanted to explain how did he do that. According to him, that it was a Japanese art perhaps karate or jitsu, which he had read about it somewhere, and it temporarily paralyzes the nervous system. That's why he became able to bring down that animal. Not a day passed without Isuran recounting some story packed with adventure, horror, or suspense. Whether the story was credible, plausible, digestible, or not, Mahendra enjoyed listening to it because of the imitable way in which it was told. Isuran seemed to more than make up for absence of a TV in Mahendra's living quarter. It is said that not even a day passed that Isuran didn't tell his story which were related to adventure, horror, or suspense. Whether the story was plausible or not, but Mahendra enjoyed listening to it because of the way, the imitatable way in which it was told. That was so interesting. Isuran seemed to more than make up for absence of TV in Mahendra's living quarter. Mahendra had no TV in his room, but it was duty of Isuran to make up the absence of TV by entertaining his master every night. After completing this paragraph, we will start rest part tomorrow. Thanking all of you. Have a nice day.